Hey everyone, welcome to my review slash rant over Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. I seriously think they should have stopped after the second one. I really do. This one can't even be a good movie by itself. So let's get started. It starts off with this little boy named Derek. Uh, he answers the door and finds a package. Uh, and it says to Derek, and then it doesn't say who it's from. And then we get a jump scare uh, of Derek's father coming up behind him and saying, I told you never to answer the door by yourself, especially at night. Go to bed. And so Derek goes to bed, but then he decides to stay at the foot of the steps and looks at what his father does. His father opens up the package and it's like a little ball Santa type thing. Uh, it twirls its face around. One face is a happy face, and then the next is like a fagged monster face. I do like the toy designs in this movie, though. I will admit. Um, anyways, he ends up pressing the button, and the arms end up stretching out, kind of like licorice arms, it looks like. And then they wrap around his head and suffocate him. And that sounds a lot more interesting than it actually is. The execution just. Um, and then it fast forwards 2 weeks later. Um, Derek no longer talks, and Sarah, uh, Derek's mother, does not seem to be upset one little bit. Like, she's trying her best to, like, shop for toys and stuff for Derek. Uh, and there's a reason behind why she's not upset. So, anyways, uh, we keep on moving along and we get introduced to this toy shop owner named Joe Petto. Which, whenever I say his name, I know it's supposed to be like Geppetto from Pinocchio, but whenever I say his name, it just sounds like a Joe pedophile. So, anyways, Joe Petto is the owner of this toy shop, and he's got a whole bunch of different types of toys, and he tries to find a toy for Derek, and in walks some weirdo named Pino, which anybody with 2 cents in their mind would immediately know that he's a doll. So Pino ends up bringing out this big package, which is of a larva. It's a toy larva thing. And he hands it to him, and Derek's like, mm-mm, mm-mm. And a strange man comes into the store, too. After Derek and his mom leave, this strange guy, not as strange as Pino, though, but a strange guy comes in and buys the larva thing. And he buys a little toy robot, too. And he happens to work on toys and stuff, trying to figure out what's up with each of the toys. Um, he gives the strange guy actually gives the toy to his uh, landlord, and he takes it home, hopefully to his kid. And when it falls down on the floor, uh, the larva actually crawls out, and this was a pretty cool scene. Cheaply made, but it was a cool scene. It crawls up onto the driver's seat, and he's like, "Oh, cool." It goes into his mouth, then comes out his eye. A lot cooler than It sounds a lot cooler than it actually is. The the way it comes out of the eye, you can tell it's a dummy face. So, anyways, we're moving along. We get introduced to Kim, not the same Kim from the fourth movie, but her name's Kim, and she's Sarah's friend. And she seems alright. She's not too bad. The actress who played her didn't do a bad job. We got a special appearance by Clint Howard, and he plays the same character, Ricky, but he's still alive. He died at the end of Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, so why is he here again as Ricky? It's just not even a minute that he's there, and you're like, oh, it's Clint Howard. And then the department store owner says, hey, Ricky, you gotta go. And I'm like, really? They had to name him Ricky? That's gonna confuse the hell out of a lot of people. Either this is the same character, Ricky, or this is just like a new character, Ricky, and they just wanted to bring Clint Howard back. So, anyways, the strange guy ends up going to the department store and dressing up as the department store Santa Claus, like dressed from head to toe, and he wants Derek. And there's like a weird reason at the beginning, like you think he's just a plain out weirdo, like a pedophile or whatever. But there's a reason why he wants Derek. He wants to spend time with Derek. And so Derek again gets a gift sent to him on the doorstep. No name of who it's from, and inside we don't find out until a little bit later on when Derek he pretty much doesn't want anything to do with toys. So what happens is he throws away he takes the package outside, throws it away, and Kim's son ends up picking it up, ripping it open, and inside are rollerblades. So he puts them on and ends up pretty much being a dumbass and cock blocking a guy who's making out with his girlfriend. And something happens, the rollerblades end up turning into firework rollerblades, like they go super fast. And then he ends up getting hit by a car and ends up in the hospital. And I'm like, okay. So, what happens next? We get introduced to the babysitter. I forget the girl's name, but she seems alright at first. She's reading Derek a bedtime story, and then when he falls asleep, she goes into Derek's room, and there's her boyfriend waiting for her. And they end up having sex right on the little boy's bed. And I'm like, can you be any more disrespectful to the poor kid? And what happens next? The strange guy ends up pretty much running after Sarah, and then they end up making out. Sarah and the strange man end up making out, and here's the reason. They used to be boyfriend and girlfriend. So that's the reason she's not completely upset about her husband dying. And the guy's name is Noah. He seems alright. Like, at first you're like, ew, he's creepy. But then the further the movie goes along, you start to like him. But then here's the flaws. Why in the hell would you pretty much go out there and spend money on toys when your kid is deathly afraid of them now? Explain that to me. What is the logic behind that? The kid's afraid of toys, and the mother's going out there buying him toys. I mean, buy him a movie or something. Buy him some sneakers. Don't buy him toys because he's afraid of them. But then the further the movie goes along, bo- the bodies don't pile up at all. This isn't a body count movie. There's not a whole lot of kills. There's like one kill with the larva thing, and then there's one kill in the bed when Joe Petto is actually the bad guy. No shocker there because it's called the Toymaker. He makes these weird toys too. He makes one with a tank, and it's got blades that come out, like rotary blades, and they end up going and killing a guy who's having sex with his girlfriend, the babysitter. And this is stupid right here. They're in the middle of having sex, and a bunch of toys are scattered around, and there's a hand toy, like it's an arm with a hand that crawls. It's touching him, touching his butt and everything, and I'm like, okay. And he's all like, oh baby, I love it when you touch me. Oh, you've never touched me there before. Oh, don't don't stop touching me there. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so the more the movie goes along, there are some good points, but there are more bad points than anything. Uh, and I just found it boring. I know you might hear me say that a lot about some movies, but I just found this movie very boring, like the third one. The fourth one is better than this, and that one was more about bugs. And Killer Toys I like more than Killer Bug movies. And the way this was done, I just didn't like it. So, anyways, fast forward a little bit more. Joe Petto ends up kidnapping Derek, taking him to the toy shop. And so, Noah and Sarah are on a mission to go get Derek. What happens? Sarah first gets there before Noah does, and breaks in the back door, and it's pretty much the house part of the store. Like uh, Joe Petto and Pino live there. There's part that's a house, and then the other part is the toy shop. And Joe Petto keeps Pino locked up in a cellar. And this was a pretty big cellar when you got into the cellar itself. And anyways, uh, there's a reason behind why he's got Pino all locked up, which I already mentioned that at the beginning of this video. Pino is a toy, and it's pretty damn obvious because you've got the owner named Joe Petto, which is a take on Geppetto from Pinocchio, and then you've got Pino. Could you be any more obvious, Dr. Einstein? So, anyways, Joe Petto is found laying dead on the floor, and the person who kidnapped Derek wasn't actually Joe Petto, it was Pino in disguise. He takes off the mask, and this felt like it was coming straight out of a Scooby-Doo movie or a Scooby-Doo episode. He takes off the face, and in it is like nothing at all, just circuits right around the sides, and then he puts the Pinot face on, and I'm just like, hmm, good effect, but it felt like it was something out of Scooby-Doo. So, pretty much what Pino wants, he wants somebody to love him like a real son, a real boy. And to do that, in his mind, or whatever Toy has, uh, he wants to kill Derek so that Sarah can be his mother. And I'm like, what in the hell? And he ends up trying to fuck her. And keep in mind, this is a toy. He's got no genitalia or anything, and his body is a mannequin body. And he's sitting there thrusting at her. And I'm just laughing like, could you be any more weirder? So he's like, I want you to be my mommy. I want you to be my mommy. I want you, mommy. I want you. And I'm like, what the fuck? If you want her to be your mommy, okay then, but there's a difference between mommy and friend with benefits. So, anyways, Sarah eventually gets Pino off of her, and she tears him to shreds. She rips his one arm off, and Noah tries ripping off the other one. Uh, they, I think it's Noah who hits him in the head with an axe, and it messes around with the circuits, and he ends up falling down and crawling with one hand. And he tries going after Derek, who's tied up in a bag, uh, like a Santa sack, and Pino keeps on stabbing through the bags looking for Derek. And he eventually finds Derek, but then all that stuff I just said happens, and Pino's just left there on the floor, and he gets chopped right in half, and ends up dying. He's like, with his last words, he's like, Daddy, please, please, Daddy, don't leave me. And I'm just like, ugh. Golf clap, golf clap, petty clap. You try to be different. You try to be entertaining, but you failed. And what I'd give this out of 10 hatchets, a 2. That's being generous to this movie. The reason I'm giving it 2 is because I think it does have some rewatchability on it. Like, I can make fun of the movie, but it's just, I seriously think they should have stopped after the second one, because the second one was pretty entertaining to me. The third one, pretty damn boring. The fourth one, if you want to know my thoughts on the fourth one, just go and watch my review of that one. But this one, this one is, I thought the third one was bad, but this one has it beat. I didn't like this one. I could watch it to make fun of it, but I don't like this one. So, anyways, that's my review over Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toymaker. There was only one good scene, at least in my eyes, and that was the larva scene the larva coming out of the eye. I thought that scene was pretty cool, but other than that, that cannot save the film. So, anyways, this is Psychopath1c signing off. Merry Christmas.